My name is Jack Dangermond, and I want to welcome all of you to this first meeting of European Transportation Organizations. This is a kind of a GIS summit for transportation people. This is the first time that we've done this that has assembled people from virtually every mode of transportation, from rail to airports to ports to shipping to road, every means. Also, a group of people who know what they're doing with respect to GIS. They understand not simple things like maps, but also how to optimize GIS to get optimum performance for their organization. Logistics people, asset management people, site selection people, visualization people. And some of you are very experienced, and yet some of you are looking at GIS almost for the first time. So I want to welcome all of you. I want you to meet each other, and I'm sure there'll be lots of occasions during this short session to do that. The purpose of this meeting is for you to share and learn from each other. This happened many years ago with people like Alexander von Humboldt, when he assembled lots of people from different sciences and they shared the science of the day. They all learned from this. They learned from sharing their knowledge of trying things and not working. But it also served to interconnect at that time the different sciences so you could see the whole. And certainly that is an objective that we're trying to do with respect to connecting all the pieces of GIS and transportation, interconnecting different modes so we have multimodal approaches and understanding of how your work connects with a broader network, almost like a nervous system of moving things around Europe and beyond. Today, our world is challenged. We see this in challenges to climate change, to the mass migration of Syrian and Middle Eastern and African folks moving across Europe, hunting for new jobs, new aspirations, a new life. We also see these kinds of challenges in very specific terms for transportation. We see challenges in congestion and disruption of traffic. We see aging infrastructure, something that's challenging many of you. Safety issues, a desire to reduce accidents. Security, environmental impacts of transportation that we all must be increasingly aware of as we evolve. Issues related to health and quality of life. Access to transportation and movement corridors, and also the effect of transportation on energy policies. All of these things are interrelated, and we must address them inside of each of your organizations, and again, as I said before, the connection of them. This is the kind of geographic approach that we aspire to take as GIS professionals. And GIS is providing us the process and the framework within which we can realize many of these goals. It allows us to see enterprise approaches for asset management, looking at assets in an airport or in a port or on the rail lines, and connect them with moving assets like vehicles and ships or railroads. It allows us as a framework to look at real-time sensor information. We're moving to an age where virtually everything is being measured, either stationary things and its performance, the Internet of Things, or moving things, vehicles and various interactions. And this wiring up of our world, particularly in transportation, is being connected to web, with web services, to express this information in real time for decision making and planning and situation awareness through dashboards of various types. We're learning how to understand massive amounts of data, the so-called big data revolution, and your organizations particularly collecting real-time data, pouring it into these big data environments, and then being able to analyze and visualize and make sense of all of this for improving decision making and planning is a role that GIS, as you'll see in the next couple of days, is taking on very strongly. Understanding precedes action a phrase that one of my close friends, Richard Saul Werman, said. We need to understand, and certainly geographic analytics and visualization support that very objective. And given this understanding, the ability to allocate resources at the right location to maximize or leverage or optimize these resource allocations in an effective way. Doing work, making decisions, is moving to the field with apps and mobile devices. The web GIS environment allows us to make those kinds of connections. Apps like Collector that collect data, or apps that run on devices that can see situations during disasters or emergencies like have been occurring in both the natural world and in our society most recently, are important to respond to immediately, simultaneously measuring things and acting. And there's no industry like transportation where that kind of responsiveness is needed more. Smart mobility, the notion of connecting different modes of transportation together and being able to provide a multimodal optimization for making efficient trips. This is a big idea and something that GIS provides the framework to be able to do. Optimization and modeling. These are analytics that live inside of a GIS that are commonplace for some of you, and some of you, it'll be the first time that you've seen them. From my perspective, we're moving to an age of geographic enlightenment. This is an age where people are waking up to the power of geospatial information and geospatial thinking. They're seeing how to make these connections. And transportation networks comprise a major piece of this geography. They're the living network, like a nervous system, that we must measure and analyze and visualize, enabling humankind to be able to reach the civilization that we all aspire to achieve in society. This initiative is best expressed here in Europe with the Single European Sky Initiative, or the Trans-European networks of roads, rails, shipping, and air corridors, or the Smart Logistics Supply Chain Management, or many other both local and industry-specific networks. Transportation networks are getting smarter. We're moving to a smarter world. In WebGIS, the transportation data is increasingly available through what's called portals, either ArcGIS Online in the open cloud or on-premise portal implementations that bring organizations together for collaboration. This is going to enable services for everybody in the organization, map services, analytics services, not just for the back office people in organizations, but for your customers, the people that use your networks, the consumers, the citizens, being able to have apps that tell me when it's going to arrive, when I can personally optimize my own movement. WebGIS is a foundation for exactly that kind of enablement. And you're going to see these kind of innovations in the next couple of days. Thank you so much for coming. I can't express how much my colleagues and I appreciate this. We live to serve your work. This is what gets us excited. And the innovations that you'll be seeing are designed to support your organizations and you as professionals. But also we are very aware that we are not perfect and we'd like to aspire to do better. So the feedback from you telling us specifically what you need and want is very helpful for us to evolve our platform. I also want to take a moment and say thank you to all of our partners who helped sponsor this get-together, who have actually enabled this meeting to actually occur. And finally, the speakers and who will be sharing their work, who have put in time to be able to do that. And of course, thanks to all of you for coming. So thanks.